I am playing RuneScape one coin flip at a time. This is Mike Penny, my Ironman bound by a single challenge. He can only kill a mob until he has a 50% chance at that mob's rarest item. After that, he is locked out forever. This is 50-50. I remember logging into the game as a young kid and seeing these people walk around wearing this beautiful blue weapon, this Rune Scimitar. And all I could think about as a kid was getting my hands on this weapon. Now, we've grown a lot in this game, we've all matured, we all know how to get the Rune Scimitar. But for me, nothing is certain. I only have a 50% chance at getting this Rune Scimitar at this point in the game. But today, we are rolling that dice, and we are getting a Rune Scimitar. Now, before we're actually going to get the Rune Scimitar, there's a couple things we need to do. In order to grind for the Rune Scimitar, I'm going to need a little bit of starting cash. So that's something I want to get. And I want to get a couple quests out of the way, just to get around a little bit easier, get some base experience, make sure we're set up for the actual mid-game. All done. I've corrected all the mistakes. Beautiful. Best news he's had all day. You know that? The best news I've had all day is that 1000 Slayer XP. Now, the reason I did this is in the previous episode I used a lamp on Slayer and it only gave 10 XP. And like I said, Slayer is going to be one of the most difficult skills to grind here. So having it up to level 9 at least allows me to lamp it a little bit more efficient, right? So it's a nice way to get sort of an early boost to Slayer. Thank you, stranger. You're very welcome, mate. You are very welcome as long as you give me that sweet, sweet, juicy prayer experience. And there it is, 1125 prayer experience. That gets me to level 11. 25 combat. That's actually very nice. And I got these sharp eye, which is just that's huge. So after finishing Restless Ghost, I went on to finish Rune Mysteries, and then I moved on to train some agility. And I trained it very specifically to level 20. And that is because it is best to train your agility in increments of 10 levels ever since the run energy rework. So in order to illustrate this point, I've created this dashboard here. And as you can see here, your agility level 1, your weight is 0 kilograms. We have none of the graceful stamina potion or ring of endurance effects. So this is very bare bones. And in the bare bones situation, you have about 100 seconds until your run energy fully depletes. So that is going from 100% to 0%. And it takes 400 seconds or, about 6 minutes and a bit to go from 0% to 100% if you're walking or standing still. Now, if we were to up this to level 20, which is our goal, you will see that this has, drastically decreased. So that went from 400 and a bit seconds to now 353. So we're saving about a minute here by just leveling to level 20. And now what you will notice is this time is actually only going to decrease in increments of 10. So if I go to 29, this will remain at 353. And then if I turn it to level 30, that's when it decreases a little bit further. Now, if you go for level 30, it only decreases by another 19 seconds. Whereas we're winning about 50 seconds with the first 20 levels. So effort reward wise, I think level 20 is a good place to stop for now. And then just briefly mentioning here this run energy depletion. This is really, you get more benefits here on later levels. So for example, here at the early levels, you get 168 ticks, or about 100 seconds, of run at agility level 1 and 0 weight. And you get about a couple of extra seconds if you go up to level 20. So I think it's 10 extra ticks, so that's about 6 extra seconds. But on later levels, this scales up a lot more. Here you get a lot more extra seconds per level. So for the early levels, this doesn't matter as much as the run energy recovery does. And that goes in increments of 10 levels. So stopping at an increment of 10 is the ideal way to level your agility since the run energy rework. And then we'll move back to our regularly scheduled programming, just in time to reach level 20 agility. Me, 1 beer in. Then we did X marks the spot, from which we got a couple of lamps which we put on Slayer. We completed Witch's Potion, Client of Corrend, which also gives on lamps, and then we completed Romeo and Juliet. So I've decided the next logical step is to complete the RD Easy Diary. For that I'm gonna need a rusty sword. Rusty sword I will thieve from ham members, for which I need 15 thieving. So I figured I would go to the cake stalls here, get some food on the way anyway, so that I have some food for quest bosses later on, that type of stuff. And then once we get 15 thieving, we'll go to ham members, get ourselves a rusty sword, and then complete the RD Easy Diary. There we go, that is 15 thieving. We can now pickpocket from ham members. Yoink! I remember this shot looking badass in RuneScape music videos. I completed Plague City, and I bought this item. This is a Chronicle, and a Chronicle is a special teleport item that you fill with teleport cards, and it can teleport you to the Champions Guild, which is a little south of Varrock. And for early game Ironman, this is a very nice method of transportation, because Varrock teleports you usually unlock later with magic, and there's no requirements to this one except for a little bit of cash. And then after I bought the Chronicle, I completed the Biohazard quest and then the RD Easy Diary. Now all that's left to do for us is make some money. Now since the last time I played Ironman, we got access to a whole new continent. So I completed the quest Children of the Sun so I could get myself to Varlamore. And now in Varlamore, there's a money-making method that anyone can do. Starting from level 3, you can do Children of the Sun and get yourself here immediately. What you want to do is you want to go to the Hunters Guild. Then in the building on the south side, you can go to the second floor and pick up these bottles of wine. These bottles of wine are worth about 700 GP each when you sell them to a shop in Alderin, which is very close by to the Hunters Guild. So what you can do is you can pick up one of these bottles, hop worlds, fill your entire inventory that way, and then go to Alderin and sell these bottles to the store. So this is me arriving at that wine store and selling the entire inventory. You can see we go from 6.5k to over 20k, 24k, which is an 18k profit in one inventory, which only takes a couple minutes. Now that we have some cash, it is finally time to reveal the Rune Scimitar plan. With the cash we have, we are going to be buying some mind runes, which we'll be using to airstrike Zamorak warriors. Zamorak warriors drop the Rune Scimitar at a rate of 1 in 50, which means according to our calculations, we can perform 35 kills, because that will give us a 50% chance at giving the Rune Scimitar, which is also the rarest item that is dropped by the Zamorak warriors. The Zamorak warriors are found at the Orania altar, which is a little west of the Ardoin monastery. Now we just completed the RD Easy Diary, so we're able to get to the monastery very easily and then walk west to the Zamorak warriors. Statistically, getting a Rune Scimitar is not as interesting as the Imp Catcher problem last week, but it is so essential to the core of RuneScape and its drop mechanics that I'm gonna go over the statistics anyway. Getting an item from a mob in RuneScape is like rolling a many-sided die. Let's take a very simple die as an example. So let's assume we have a mob that has a 1 in 6 chance of dropping the Rune Scimitar. So you go to the wiki, you look up the drop rate of the Scimitar and it says 1 in 6. This is the only item it drops, so the other 5 out of 6 rolls are bones. So here we have a die with 5 sides bones, 1 side is a Rune Scimitar. Every time you kill this mob, we will roll this die, and if it lands on the Rune Scimitar side, we get the Rune Scimitar. That's pretty simple, right? That's what it means to have 1 in 6 odds at an item. Now you can imagine that if a Rune Scimitar is 1 in 60, 1 in 80, it is the same thing but with a much larger die. But now for our purposes, we are not interested in the individual chance every kill of getting a Rune Scimitar. We are interested in the chance that we get a Rune Scimitar after rolling the die multiple times. Specifically, we're interested in how many times do we have to roll the dice to have a 50% chance at getting the Rune Scimitar. Now this is where binomial statistics come in. And binomial statistics, the name is a giveaway. Bi meaning two nomial names or options. So binomial statistics assume two outcomes. And in our case, it is either getting the Rune Scimitar, which is a success event, or not getting the Rune Scimitar, which is a failure. So the binomial formula will give us the probability of getting a Rune Scimitar based on two inputs. One, what is the odds of getting a Rune Scimitar on an individual kill? So in our example, that was just the 1 in 6 of the regular dice. And two, how many times are you rolling the dice? Right, the more you roll the dice, the larger the chance of rolling that Rune Scimitar at some point. So if we plug in those numbers, you will get your odds. But we want to work the other way around. So we have the odds that we want, which is 50%. We have the probability of getting the Rune Scimitar on one dice roll. So we want the N. The amount of times we have to roll the dice in order to get this 50% chance. So we can rewrite the binomial formula to this form, then plug in the numbers, and then you will get the outcome that says we need 4 throws. So to bring that back to our Zamorak warrior example, a Rune Scimitar was 1 in 50. That means, according to this calculation, we have 35 kills to get the Rune Scimitar. Let's see how it goes. Alright, well there we go. Our first kill, what's it going to be? It's going to be 100 coins. We are getting 100 coins again. Get 100 coins yet again. 100 coins yet again. Yet again. 100 coins. Another 100 coins drop. It is to be expected. Let's see, what do we get? 100 coins 7 times in a row. Kill number 8 in the books. And yet again, quarter way mark. Let's see, what do we get? And is it indeed over quarter way? It is indeed over quarter way, and it is again another coin drop. Coming in, what are we getting? And again, that's 1k in coins, back to 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 back. No, what's it gonna be? Give me the Scimitar, baby. Give me the Scimitar. No, of course not. Of course it is gonna be another 100 coin drop. Kill number 12. What are we getting? A steel Scimitar. This is the first drop that's different from the 100 coin drop. It is still not good, but it is better than the 100 coins. We're gonna look for this one, boys. We're not gonna look. What's there? Is it gonna be 100 coins? Is it gonna be the Scimitar? It is gonna be 100 coins. Fortunately. That brings us over the halfway mark of our maximum amount of allowed kills. Hell yeah, good job, Lizard. Oh, the Rune Dagger. Nice. Nice. This is going to be kill number 25. And kill number 25 is going to give us coins. Over 70% of our way to the max kills. We are only allowed 10 more kills. 10 more kills. We need to get the Scimitar within 10 kills. But then, after the 500th coin drop, this happened. That's right. More coins. Are we gonna get it number 30? No. There we go. This is gonna be kill number 32. Come on, give it to me. And by give it to me, I don't mean the 100 coins. Number 33. A Rune Dagger. Is this going to be the penultimate kill, or is it going to be the final kill because he will give me the Rune Scimitar? It is going to be the penultimate kill. One more. Don't let me be unlucky this early on. I am unlucky. We are maxed out on the Zamorak Warriors. We have not gotten the Rune Scimitar. Unfortunately, we walk away with 2 Rune Daggers, an Adamant Longsword, 2 Steel Scimitars, and 6 Lobsters. And that is all. That is all. No Rune Scimitar for us today. So, we didn't get the Rune Scimitar, but there is maybe another way to get one. And I hear you thinking, what about Fire Giants? I killed Fire Giants on my Ironman to get a Rune Scimitar, but there's a problem there. Fire Giants are often assigned as Slayer tasks, and I don't want to kill mobs that can be given as Slayer tasks without actually being on task. So, what is the other option? In Zaya, there used to be an activity called Tackling Organized Crime. This is where you kill gangsters that pop up in random locations. And you know what these gangsters drop? That's right. They drop a Rune Scimitar. So that is where we're going next. Alright, so the gangsters are here. They have all spawned, as you can see. I'm just going to pick them off one by one. Luckily, this is now pretty much dead content with the removal of the favor system. So every world should basically have these gangsters in the same location by now. So they will leave at some point and then I'll have to find a new spot. But I can kill a couple. So the first kill, 68 compost. Intelligence and Lantidime. Unfortunately, 2 more kills. 2 more kills. Come on. It's only a 1 in 80 at this point in time, but I really, really want the Rune Scimitar. Come on, give it to me. Oh, no. And we are maxed out on the gangsters. Unfortunately, the Rune Scimitar is just not meant to be for us. For now, I'll eat my feelings away with this piece of cake. After I admitted defeat, I completed Monk's Thread to get some woodcutting XP. And then I needed to get 40 attack. So I did 2 quests, Trino Village and Fight Arena. And afterwards, I made my way to the backup weapon. And the backup weapon was a Rune Mace. This can be bought in Varlamore, so you don't actually need to have the quest point requirement for the Champions Guild, because in Varlamore you can purchase this beautiful weapon, the Rune Mace, which it's not as iconic as a Rune Scimitar, but it will have to do for our next grind. So for the past couple of hours of gameplay, I was waiting on these gangsters to spawn and I hadn't been doing anything in the meantime. But now what I want to do, I'm doing a lot of calculations and simulations on the side to calculate Slayer. And so I want to take some time to AFK here. So I'll get 15 wood cutting, just bought myself a steel axe, so I'll get 50 wood cutting and then do some oaks and willows while I piece together this large puzzle that is Slayer and editing this video. So no, we did not get lucky on the Rune Scimitar. But what we did do in this episode, we completed a bunch of quests and we grayed out 2 mobs. So if we take a look at the overview here, we grayed out the Zamorakian warrior and we got unlucky on the Rune Scimitar, and we grayed out the gangsters and we got unlucky on the Rune Scimitar. Hopefully our luck will turn in the next episode, because in the next episode we will be doing Slayer.
you.